My husband had an affair with my best friend, so I sent a singing clown to his work. Hey Reddit, let me start by saying that I never thought I'd be posting something like this on here, but I guess life has a way of taking some unexpected turns. I'm a 32-year-old woman, married for 6 years, no kids. I've been with my husband, let's be cliche and call him John, for a total of 10 years. We had our fair share of ups and downs, like any couple, but I always thought we were pretty solid. Until, that is, I discovered the affair. I should also mention that I have, or had I suppose, a best friend, Miranda. Miranda and I go way back. We met in high school, and we've been thick as thieves ever since. So, you can imagine my shock when I found out that John and Miranda had been having an affair behind my back. How did I find out, you ask? Well, sit tight, and I'll get to that. It all started when I was having some issues with my phone. It would freeze, crash, and just be generally uncooperative. I asked John if I could borrow his phone to look up a solution for my phone troubles. He agreed without hesitation, and I began my search. As I was browsing, John got a text from Miranda. Nothing out of the ordinary. Really, they were friends too, after all. But when I opened the conversation to see what she had to say, that's when my world came crashing down. It was pretty obvious from the messages that this wasn't just a friendly chat. There were explicit texts, declarations of love, and plans for their next secret rendezvous. I felt like I was going to be sick. I didn't confront John right away. I knew I needed to be calm and collected if I was going to get any real answers out of him. Instead, I started gathering evidence. I took screenshots of their conversations and saved them in a folder on my computer. I even managed to track down a receipt for a hotel room they had booked together. Once I had everything I needed, I confronted John. He didn't deny it. Instead, he broke down in tears, saying how sorry he was and that it was a mistake. I wasn't interested in his apologies. I told him I wanted a divorce, and I moved out of our house that same day. As for Miranda, she was equally unapologetic. In fact, she was downright hostile when I confronted her, accusing me of being a terrible friend and saying that I deserved what happened. I cut her out of my life completely, and I haven't spoken to her since. Now, you might think that the story ends there, with me picking up the pieces of my shattered life and moving on. But, as the title suggests, there's a little more to it than that. You see, after I moved out, I found myself consumed with anger and a desire for revenge. I wanted John to feel even a fraction of the humiliation and pain that I had experienced. And that's when I came up with the idea of sending a singing clown to his work. It was the perfect plan. John had a high-powered job at a prestigious law firm, and he took his image very seriously. What better way to knock him down a peg than by having a clown serenade him in front of all his colleagues? I did my research and found the perfect clown for the job. This guy was a professional, had no shame or reservations, and he had a repertoire of hilariously embarrassing songs to choose from. I decided on a song called Cheaters Never Prosper, which seemed particularly fitting for the occasion. I booked the clown, giving him explicit instructions to perform during John's lunch break, when the office would be filled with people. I also told him to make sure he mentioned both John and Miranda by name during the performance. I wanted everyone to know exactly what had happened. As an added bonus, he told me that he always wears a pin camera on his suit and records the entire song in reaction. Perfect. The day of the performance finally arrived, and the clown arrived right on time, decked out in a bright, colorful outfit complete with oversized shoes, a red nose, and a rainbow wig. He marched confidently into the building, carrying a boombox and a microphone. A few minutes later, the clown emerged into the crowded lunchroom. The chatter in the room died down as people stared at him in surprise and confusion. He turned on the boombox, which began playing a Johnny tune, and started singing at the top of his lungs. Listen up, folks, I've got a tale to tell, about a man named John and the love that fell. He had a wife, but he strayed away, and now he's going to pay for his wicked ways. As the song went on, the clown incorporated more and more details about John and Miranda's affair, leaving no doubt in anyone's mind who he was singing about. The room was filled with a mix of laughter and gasps of shock as the clown danced and sang, pointing at John the entire time. John, meanwhile, was mortified. His face was beet red, and he looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. His coworkers whispered and snickered as they watched him squirm. Even his boss, who had come out of his office to see what the commotion was about, couldn't help but chuckle at the scene. As the clown finished his song, he handed John a bouquet of balloons shaped like broken hearts, along with a card that said, "Cheaters never prosper. Have a nice life, John." With that, the clown made his exit, leaving John to face the judgmental stares and whispered gossip of his coworkers. I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction as I watched him struggle to regain his composure. Of course, my revenge didn't end there. I made sure to spread the story far and wide. I even shared the video with our friends and family, as well as the screenshots of their texts and the hotel receipts. In the end, John lost more than just his dignity. His reputation was in tatters, and his career took a serious hit. He eventually left the law firm and took a job at a smaller, less prestigious company. As for Miranda, she was also shunned by many of her friends and family. She tried to reach out to me a few times, begging for forgiveness, but I had no interest in reconciling. She had shown her true colors, and I had no room in my life for someone like her. I know that revenge isn't always the best answer, but in this case, I don't regret my actions. I needed closure, and the singing clown provided that for me. It was a painful chapter in my life, but I learned a lot about myself and the people around me. I'm in a much better place now, having moved on and started fresh in a new city. I've even begun dating again, and I'm hopeful that I'll find someone who treats me with the love and respect that I deserve. As for John and Miranda, they didn't end up together, and I heard through the grapevine that they had a falling out not long after the clown incident. So, there you have it, Reddit. That's the story of how I sent a singing clown to my cheating husband's workplace to exact my revenge. It was messy, it was dramatic, and it was probably a little petty, but you know what? It was also incredibly cathartic. Anyway, thanks for reading, and I hope you enjoyed my wild ride of a story. I'm doing so much better now, and I'm grateful for the support and understanding of the people who have stuck by me through it all. Life goes on, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. Well, to any cheaters out there, if you see a clown coming your way, you might want to run. Well, how do you think she did? What would you have done? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.